guys have tuned in to Over the Top Podcast. I'm Steve Matthews, and I'm flying solo today because I got something that's on my chest and I want to get it off. I've taken a lot of time to really look into this so I don't come in completely agitated. I can't say that that's going to work 100%, but I've given it time and I've looked into some things, and hopefully this will help maybe clear some stuff up for you as well. I don't think it could be said any better than what I saw online, so let's go ahead and repeat that, is that here recently, 13 doorbells were rung, 13 flags were folded and handed out, and 13 families will never be the same. And that is factual. That is sad, and that is what's really got me pissed off and what's got me in front of this fucking camera today. My apologies on the language. I get a little fired up about this. Maybe you've clicked the video because it says this is 100% Donald Trump's fault. Maybe you've clicked the video because you were for it or against it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to get into it. But first off, I just want to address that it is a unbelievable, careless irresponsibility that these soldiers lost their lives. And it burns me to the core. So let's get into it. Was this Donald Trump's fault? It is 100% Donald Trump's treaty. Donald Trump's the one that signed in the treaty in February of 2020 to be out of Afghanistan and to work with the Taliban to help fight the war on terror. Now, the reality of it is what strikes me as odd, is the Taliban was the ones that were the terrorists. I don't get it. The Taliban, the Al-Qaeda, the ISIS all work together. They were responsible, but for some reason, Donald Trump felt that he could trust them and that they would help fight the war on terror. So we agreed to completely pull out by May 1st. Of course, Donald Trump did not win the election, so Joe Biden became president. And he got everything pushed back to August, not May. Of course, that's of this year. We were supposed to be out by May, and he got it pushed back to August. Now, against Joe Biden's advisors, when they said that they were pulling out of Afghanistan, who said that he should not, it's going to be a bad idea. And even Donald Trump did state that if we pull out immediately without some type of strategy, it'll create a vacuum, which will allow the Taliban to snap right back in. And it's exactly what happened. What he said would happen, happened if we did it the way Joe Biden did it. Donald Trump's treaty did have stipulations in it as well, that if the second that there was a failure in the treaty, we would be right back in Afghanistan to rain hell and everything like that. Yada, yada, yada. We do what we do in America. But Joe Biden did it a different way. Joe Biden just completely removed people without a plan, pretty much. Leaving soldiers behind, leaving ammunition, Humvees, Black Hawks, helicopters, guns, our allies, and American citizens all behind in Afghanistan when the Taliban took over. Good plan. Good plan. Now, since then, we have pulled every American soldier out of Afghanistan. Only after the loss of 13 of them. That was completely unnecessary, irresponsible, and the blame is on you. And it saddens me because they were all young. They had no business being in a line of fire like that, but because of a poor decision by our president, that's what happened. And now what's done is done. Now, we celebrated that the last American soldier was out of Afghanistan, but we didn't cover that our allies are still there, that our equipment's still there, and that our citizens are still there. We don't have room to celebrate. We don't. And ex-Navy SEAL Jocko has a great podcast, and he had a address as if he were the president, and I think that he nailed it, is that you need to own up the fact that you screwed up. And then after that, we need to come up with a plan. And his plan was to take over every major airport in Afghanistan. And anybody that gets in our way will be met with deadly force and zero mercy. We will take and seize every airport, gain control of it, and anybody that needs evacuation will be evacuated through the airport. And then once we've completely evacuated everybody we need out of that country, we then will go back for our equipment, whether we take it with us or we destroy it. Anybody that gets in the way will be met with deadly force and no mercy. That is just how it's going to be. So if you know that you are around a Black Hawk, you better leave or you're going to die. It's just that simple. Once we destroy all equipment, get everybody out, we then leave the country. But we don't leave it completely. We then monitor the country within to make sure that there are no terrorist camps or anything like that, training or anything like that, because we will destroy that as well. And that's how we handle the situation. And I agree with that 100%. But Mr. President has not made a statement, has not made a plan, has not done anything. It's been quite embarrassing. And at this point, whether you're left, whether you're right, whether you're conservative, liberal, whatever you want to call yourself, I want you to be an American for a minute, and I want you to be equally as pissed off as I am. Because in retrospect and in looking through the glass, it's your fault. It's my fault that this happened. Some say, Steve, how's that? How's it my fault? Did you vote for Joe Biden? If the answer is yes, then that's how far we need to go. If the answer is hell no, I didn't vote for Joe Biden. I didn't vote for Sleepy Joe. I voted for Trump. Then you're equally responsible. What did you do? What did you do? Did you vote for senators? Did you vote for House representatives? Did you try to swing it to the way of that you believe? Did you talk to your senator? Did you write your senator to try to get certain policies? Did you write your House representative to try to get Joe Biden impeached? Did you? Because I doubt it. So there's a little bit of blame for everybody in this. There's a lot of blame, a lot of it. And I think we all need to equally take a piece of it because we're still standing 6 feet above the ground versus the 13 that are not. What are you going to tell that family? There's nothing. There's nothing you can tell them. So we all have to have ownership in this. We really do. But Joe Biden, I believe you're going to have to eat the biggest piece of pie on that one. And you're not. You're not going to. But so the realization is that we had no business being there. Not for that long. But we were. We tried to take care of business. We tried to give them every opportunity that they had, that we could give them to be free and be a democracy. The issue is that the people didn't want to fight for it. So since they didn't want to fight for it, we needed to get out. But now we've got out and we've gave them everything. To see a man being hung by a noose by a Black Hawk, an American Black Hawk. That's the image. That's the image. Sickening. It's sickening. I don't know how you feel about it, but this is how I feel about it. This is no longer left, right? This is no longer political. This is Americans. And by God, we need to stand up as Americans. And that's just how it is. This is not right. You can't justify and tell me that there's any way that this is right. And if you can, please, please come to me. I'll put you on the show. We'll talk about it. But I'm begging, if anybody feels that this is justifiable and if this is a good job by this administration, because it's not. And we'll go toe-to-toe with it, gladly. Once again, guys, this is my opinion. This is how I feel about it. This got me hot. This got me on a soapbox. We have failed as a country. We've failed as Americans. We failed our allies. We failed our citizens. And we failed our soldiers. We've made America look very weak. We've looked pathetic, to be honest with you. For the 13 families that have to suffer for this, my deepest condolences. There's nothing that I can say that would make anything feel better, but know that I'm not the only one that's pissed off. I know you are pissed off, but we want to do something different. We want to change something. Something's got to change. Mr. President, I think you need to step down. I think you need to take ownership. I think you need to take responsibility, and you need to understand that you failed and you made a bad decision. And if you're not going to do anything about it, then you need to step down. And believe me, I don't want Kamala Harris as our president either. But at this situation, Joe Biden, you need to step down, sir, because you have no plan of how to handle what has happened. So that is my soapbox. That is my opinion. That is what I believe as just as is for these 13 soldiers that lost their lives. So I'm Steve Matthews. This is Over the Top, and I'll see you guys later.
It's the guts and it's the glory, 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the